Hi Capricorn, this is Joanna from Tarot with Joanna, here to do another reading. Hello, hello, hello. So Capricorn, in today's reading, I am going to give you two of the Denise Lynn Oracle cards, going to do your reading and then clarify it. So let us get started. All right, Capricorn, so let's see what's going on in your reading. Let's see. This is for Capricorn Spirit. Brother High is good. All right, so you have unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. Wow. So, you know, if you thought that this wasn't the path for you, or you didn't know if this was if things are happening to you, this is where you're supposed to be. Okay, this is the path. You know, we always are on the path that they want us to be, and this definitely what you need to be going through. Everything that's happening is the correct things that are happening. Okay, you have joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. Wow. So really have compassion and love and forgiveness. Okay, because that is the joy, that's what comes in, the happiness. When you have that, you have happiness, you have gratitude. You know, be happy with everything. Okay. Wow. All right, so let's see what's going on for you, Capricorn. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is going to be for Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. One for the current, one for the situation, one for the past or now. Wow. One for what's hidden, one for the hopes and fears. Wow. For what you need to do now, what you need to work on, and the outcome. Wow. Okay. All right, you guys. So at the end of the deck, you got the 9 of Cups. Oh, okay, good. All right, so you have the 4 of Cups. The 4 of Cups is talking about, you know, you have, you know, opportunities here. Not really wanting to see everything that's going on, you know, because everything that has been happening to you, you know, it's like nothing ever comes in. You're in that mode right now where you're like very disconnected, not really feeling it, you know. You're just not even focused on the cups that are on the bottom. You're just like looking straight out, and I feel like there's been opportunities around you that you really need to start paying attention and to see. You have the Temperance card here. Capricorn, the Temperance card is talking about that you are very divinely guided. That is Archangel Raphael healing you, keeping things balanced for you. They're asking you to balance everything that's going on in your life, emotionally and physically. Really take that. Okay, make sure you're doing that. You definitely are on this right path. Also, I feel like you need to really balance your emotions. Also, I'm getting. You have the World card here, and I do believe that it's now. I feel like you're on this new cycle. This cycle could be coming in also. Well, you are on it. So this is a new cycle for you. They're asking you to do things differently, to use it. The world is turning. Like a new chapter here is for you. But we'll see. You have the Strength card here, Capricorn. And the Strength card is talking about finding your strength, finding your confidence, your courage, you know, really looking at things differently, you know, really finding that strength to do what you need to do to overcome everything. You have the Page of Swords here in the hopes and fears. And I feel with the Page of Swords that you really need to see the truth and speak your truth about things, about how you're feeling, about what you're doing, you know, really be truthful. Really have good communication also. See what the cards say there. Then you have the 8 of Swords here. The 8 of Swords is saying that there are times when you feel trapped. This is what you need to do now. There are times when you feel trapped. You feel like you can't move forward. And you feel like you're stuck, you know. because you're very you're very disconnected, and then you have this, and it's like there's something here that you just not want to, you don't want to deal with, or you don't want to see. You do have the Magician card for what you need to work on. The Magician is talking about that, you know, it is you that creates this world that you live in. Okay, it is you that, you know, creates the environment. You know, so if you're gonna think negative, it's gonna be negative. If you think positive, it's gonna come in positive. But it's like you have the tools, the knowledge, the wisdom to create what you want. Wow. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles here. And the Eight of Pentacles says that, you know, you've been working very hard at the things that you want. You know, you want to reach that material success. And, you know, they're just, we'll see what this card says, because there's a lot here. But we'll see what all these other cards say. All right, so Capricorn, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is for Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. All right. The cards are already pre-shuffled, you guys, so I always try to shuffle them before I get on here, because, you know, I don't want to be like, you know, just hesitating and pausing. Sometimes I'll just shuffle more, but that's if I get the signal to get it, to do it, but I haven't, so I'm good. All right, so here we go. This is the Four of Cups. Take what resonates with you, Capricorn, and leave the rest. Why is the Four of Cups here? Wow. All right. Thank you, Spirit. All right. All right. So, all right. So you do have the Four of Cups. Like I said, you know, you start off with this card, and, you know, if you look at him clearly, you know, he's like really not interested in anything that these cups are bringing him, like really so disconnected. They want you to look at things differently with the Hangman, okay? Step back and look at things differently, you know, stop giving up, you know, stop trying to rush through things and make things trying to appear, you know, because it's not going to work that way. You know, they want you to really start focusing on things, to look at things differently. They're saying, what are you waiting for? What is it that you're waiting for to create something? Why is it that you're not creating anything? Why is it that you're not really looking, that you're not, why is it that you're not interested in the opportunities that are coming around you, is what they're asking. And that's what you need to ask yourself, okay? And they're asking, stop hesitating, to really look at things differently now, okay? Because you have opportunities here that are coming through for you. They're asking you not to rush into decisions, you know. I feel like at times you can rush through things, but it's mostly about really creating something, you know, because I feel like you have a lot of ideas within you, and you just need to start moving forward on it, okay? So that's what they're saying. Wow. Try not to rush into things, okay, but just start on it, because that's what they're asking you, because there's opportunities there. You have the Temperance card here, and why is the Temperance card here for Capricorn? Oh, my card. Wow. Okay. So you do have the Temperance card. Like I said, things are going to balance out for you. You know, try to keep them balanced. Your mental, emotional state. You know, it's very important. You know, your physical state also. You know, I feel like you're very. You know, you are definitely on this right path. You know, but you just need to try to keep everything balanced, you know, like stop getting frustrated, stop getting angry at things, because you do have the Five of Swords, because the Five of Swords is talking about arguing, angry, getting mad, you know, pissed at the world, you know, sorry. And, you know, and you really need to try to leave that, okay? They're asking you to go within, to meditate, to clear your mind, because I feel like you're searching for answers and looking for answers, and right now you need to really need to clear your mind, because you're very disconnected. It's like the opportunities are there, but you're not taking them. You know, you're being pushed to this new beginning, but yet you're just like, nah, I don't want to. You know, but you need to try, okay? Because it's gonna open up doors for you, more doors. You do have the World card here, and the World card is saying that you know, this is a new cycle coming in. You're on it. You know, got to take care of all these things that are going on in your life. You know, be grateful for everything that's been happening, you know, that's been going on, whether it's good or bad. They want you to just keep going forward. Wow. And then you have the strength card here. And why is the strength card here? I'm a card. Wow, good. Good, good, good. Oh my goodness, good. All right, so you do start off with the strength card. They want you to find your courage, your confidence, you know. You know how to handle things. You do, okay? You're going to be able to handle things because there is a lot of good things coming in. You do have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands is saying that, you know, don't let anybody take your light. You know, don't let anybody steal your light either. You know, like, you know, you have a lot to offer to the world. You really do. You know, you're very smart. You know how to make things happen. You know, people like to be around you. You know, you're just courageous. You know, you are. But, you know, don't let other people or circumstances or situations take that light away from you. You know, find your strength to be your own person. You know, who cares what anybody thinks? You know, be your own. Okay, really be your own. And that's what she's there. The Queen of Wands, she doesn't let nobody take her light. She doesn't care what anybody thinks. She's like, you know what? It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you think. It don't even matter how you look, because I'm just going to do my own thing. And that's what you need to be doing. Okay. I feel like people are watching you. That people are like looking at you, you know, you're being recognized, you know. And I feel like there is success here. You know, there's a lot of success here. I feel like that you're able to create what you want and make it successful. But you also need to see that you have been very successful, you know, and that you're very intelligent and that you can still keep going, but you need to start focusing, okay? Really start focusing on things. So you have the Page of Swords here. And why is the Page of Swords here? One more card. Wow. Wow, okay. So you have the King of Swords, the Death card, and then you have the Page of Swords. So really see the truth in everything. Speak your truth, see the truth, you know, start communicating, you know, the way you want to, you know, what you believe in, what you want to say. Speak your truth, okay? Stop holding back. You stand very strong. You have a lot of ideas, but there's a lot of changes that you're going through, you know, a lot of changes, you know, but it's up to you to create the world that you want to be in, you know, and it's up to you to speak what you're feeling, to say what's on your mind, you know, like, hey, you know, I don't want to like this. I don't want to go through this, you know, and then talk to whoever it is that you need to talk to, okay? Because they want you to do that. They want you to stand strong. You need to start focusing also. Be bold, you know, stand in your power, you know, speak your mind, start speaking the truth about things, you know, stop holding back. You know, like if you're tired that the same thing is happening over and over and over, well, it's time to start speaking about it so that things can change. Because you do have the Death card here. The Death card is saying, you know, there's changes here. There's transformation, you know, you need to change them. You need to leave the old you behind and start changing and go with the new, you know, start living life, you know, start speaking your truth, start seeing things differently so that way you can live the way you want to. So you can do the things that you want to instead of not being so disconnected, not wanting to do anything, you know, because you're very successful. You're successful, you're intelligent, you're strong, you know, you're confident, but yet you don't want to do anything. You don't want to, it's like you don't want to say anything, you know. It doesn't matter about anybody that hurts anybody. It doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's like you need to live for yourself. You need to be happy for yourself, and you need to do for what you need to do for yourself. Wow. That just came out of me, you guys. That's crazy. All right, so then you have the Eight of Swords here for what you need to do now. One more card. Wow. So with the Eight of Swords here, you know, you look at her and she feels like she's stuck, right? You look at her, she can clearly move. She could take off that blindfold. She could hop out of there, you know. She could she could untie, because those things are not even tight on her. The rope's not even tight. She can move, but she doesn't. It's just like something here that you don't want to deal with. And they're asking you to take off this blindfold. Take it off. Take off the blindfold and really see things for what they truly are. Really start dealing with everything that's happening in your life, Capricorn, because you need to. Okay? It's like the universe is pushing you to do this, because if you don't do it, the universe is going to do it for you, because they're moving you towards change, and that's what they're saying. Like, hey, start being focusing, start being bold, start, seeing all these things that are coming to you, but you got to do it too. Okay. So really pay attention, take off that blindfold. You do have the Queen of Swords. The King of Cups here. And then you have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, she's blunt. She's stubborn. She's blunt. She tells it like it is. She doesn't care who's there, who or what, and that's how you got to be. Everybody perceives the Queen of Swords like she's so mean, but she's not mean. She just gets to it. She just like, you know what? I'm just going to do my thing, and it doesn't matter what you think. I'm just going to have to go do what I have to do to make myself happy, and if you don't like what I say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't like the way it's going, things like that. You got to do things. You got to be the Queen of Swords like that. Okay. And then you have the King of Cups, and the King of Cups is talking about, feeling emotions, really feeling it, like keeping your emotions balanced, not getting angry, but keeping the peace, being, having patience, being, like I can handle all kinds of things. Even if we get angry, it doesn't matter, because I am not going to get angry. I'm going to be okay. That kind of thing. So really, speak your truth, you guys. It's time, because I feel like there's something here that you really need to talk about. You say something, because it's like there's a situation here that you don't want to deal with. And they're telling you it's time to take that blindfold off, because you're feeling stuck. You're feeling like you can't move forward. Wow. All right. So then you have the Magician. And why is the Magician here? For what you need to work on. Oh, wow. So you do have the Magician here. You have the Three of Swords. You've been very emotional. There could be a new person arriving, but definitely a lot of emotions are here. I feel like you're going to be okay, though, because you do have the Ace of Cups. There could be a new person coming in your life for some of you guys, but your emotions are going to be extremely high, okay? Really try to balance them out, okay? Try to keep balance. Be the King of Cups, and just, deal with your emotions like you have to, when you have to. If you feel like crying, then cry. Sometimes a good cry helps, but you are going to be very emotional very soon. But there's happiness. There's also happiness. There's happiness. There's, a new person arriving. You're going to have a lot of ideas. You're going to be very inspired, there's just a lot here. Your cup is overflowed with a lot of good things, feeling better. But like I said, you create this world. Remember, you're like the magician. If you think negative, it's all going to come in negative. If you think positive, it's all going to come in positive. So just continue to create this world that you want to. But speak your truth. Take off that blindfold. Look at these opportunities, meditate, go within, clear your mind so you can make these decisions, do the things that you need to speak about and say. Wow. And then you have the Eight of Pentacles. And why is the Eight of Pentacles here? Oh. Again, you have the Eight of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles. Wow. So you've been working very hard. You're trying to create, all that time. You're trying to establish yourself, creating that material success, which is very nice, But there's a lot of work that you still need to do, okay? Because you're still feeling a lot. You're still feeling very stuck. You're feeling like, there's situations that you're not seeing. There's a truth here that you don't want to hear, So they're asking you to keep continuing to work on yourself, to really change your ways in doing things, to really look at things differently, okay? Because you really need to. Have forgiveness, have compassion, in your heart. Okay, really have that, you know, in order to move forward. You know, even though, you know, things have been happen and you've been very hurt and you've been emotional or wounded, you know, you're going to get through everything. You're going to be able to handle anything that comes your way, but you just need that compassion and that forgiveness and that love. And you don't have to like go to that person and say, you know, oh, I forgive you. You know, you don't. You just have to forgive them in your heart. And once you forgive them, you can keep moving forward. But you need that. You can't live life with a hard heart. You can't. You can't live with life with a stone, you know, heart, because you can't, because you'll be angry all the time. Okay, so really start dealing with all these things that are going on. You know, keep continuing to work at speaking your truth, you know, seeing the truth in things, because I feel like there's going to be breakthroughs for you. There's going to be success here, but there's also a truth that you need to see. There's also something that you're feeling and you need to speak about, you know, so just know that. All right, so there is a new beginning here coming through, but you know, all this is trying to, you know, you're holding back because you're not really as focused as you should be. All right, so Capricorn, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. God bless.